First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
The Gators get their man. Jim McElwain will be the next head ball coach for the Gator football program. That's our top story tonight. I'm Taylor Nunez.
And I'm Chloe Stradinger. Thanks for joining us. In his first head coaching role, McElwain revived the Colorado State football program with a quick turnaround leading to 22 wins over 3 seasons. His Rams are now enjoying the school's first 10-win season in over a decade, and he was just named Mountain West Coach of the Year. At age 52, he now gets a 6-year, $21 million commitment to work his magic with the Gators. WT's sports anchor Missy Perez joins us now with the early reaction from the Gator Nation.
Coach McElwain was previously the offensive coordinator for the Alabama Crimson Tide, so his expertise is just that, offense. And a strong offense is just what the Gators have lacked these past few seasons. WRUF host Steve Russell had Alabama reporter Chris Stewart on his radio show today. And Stewart says watching McElwain at Bama tells him the future looks bright for the Gators.
He will, I just think with the opportunity, having already recruited in the South or for an SEC program at a national level as he did at Alabama, he'll be able to come in and continue some good things that Will had in place already, and I think be able to build on that.
Ladies, later we'll dig into sports and deeper into McElwain's resume and his track record for building a strong offense.
Thank you, Missy.
A Florida appeals court has rejected Attorney General Pam Bondi's request to avoid any lapses in Florida's ban on gay marriage.
This comes after circuit court judges have ruled the ban unconstitutional. WUFT's Nicole Acevedo joins us live in the newsroom with more details.
Ladies, the decision comes after a number of attempts to keep the original ban in place. Attorney General Pam Bondi says she's trying to preserve the definition of marriage, but advocates say that's a losing battle.
On January the 5th and the 6th, we may see our first marriages locally or in Dade, Broward, Monroe, wherever.
Joe Antonelli has been advocating gay rights for over 50 years, and he says it's time for Florida to recognize same-sex marriage.
And I kept saying, Florida's really behind, and it's still behind, and there's been 35 states that have passed it.
Yesterday, an appeals court decided not to extend a stay on court rulings against Florida's ban on same-sex marriage. Attorney General Pam Bondi wanted more time for appeals, but the stay is now set to expire on January 5th. Joseph Jackson teaches law at the University of Florida and says it's an issue between federal rights against the state statute.
There are a number of U.S. Supreme Court decisions confirming that people have a fundamental right, a fundamental liberty interest in deciding whether to marry and whom to marry.
The ban was written into the Florida Constitution in 2008 when voters passed Amendment 2 with 62% of the vote. That banned same-sex marriages and civil unions, and it's been a continuous battle since then.
Do you really do that? Do you really pass a law that picks a group, discriminates against it, and then code it into law, into your Constitution? Ridiculous.
And even though the chances look more likely after yesterday's ruling, that doesn't mean it's over.
It is possible for the Attorney General to continue to press the appeal on the merits, and if the 11th Circuit then reversed the district court's judgment, it would create an issue about how to deal with marriages that occurred between the time that the stay expired and the time the 11th Circuit ruled.
Antonelli says there's a built-up demand among same-sex couples to seek marriage licenses. He expects hundreds of couples will try to get married during the first days it's legal in Florida. Reporting from the newsroom, Nicole Acevedo, WUFT News.
A railroad crossing in Newberry is closing tomorrow morning. This is on the main north-south highway, State Road 45, which is also US 27 and US 41 through Newberry. Travelers hoping to pass through will have to take a 16-mile detour for the next 3 days. Florida DOT says on a normal day, 4,500 vehicles use this crossing.
The crossing takes a lot of wear and tear, and we wanted to go in there and make it a smoother crossing for the residents and for also the travelers.
The detour will take drivers on a long loop to Newberry Road to get around the construction zone. And once again, the future of Northwest 8th Avenue is the hot topic of discussion at Gainesville's City Commission meeting. The mile of roadway just east of 34th Street has been experimentally narrowed to 2 lanes to accommodate bicycle traffic. Many neighborhood residents like it, but many commuters want to change it back. City Commissioner Craig Carter, whose district includes that area, says safety is his #1 priority.
I just hope everybody realizes every commissioner in this office, there's 6 commissioners and 1 mayor, we all want the safest thing with the best transportation for the city of Gainesville. And whether you agree with myself or my colleagues, just understand it's ultimately we serve the citizens, not the staff and not any group thinking people. We serve the citizens of Gainesville. That's it, period.
Presentations of future options for the road will be shown at 8 p.m. tonight. After that, commissioners could vote on whether bike lanes should be part of the road surface or part of expanded sidewalks. Well, if you've been getting an early start these past couple of days, you've seen a continuing trend of fog in north central Florida.
Let's go to UF forecaster Brittany Van Voorhees to tell us where the problem areas will be on your morning drive.
Chloe, Taylor, we have had fog here in north central Florida over the past 6 days, but that has not stopped those days from being nice and beautiful. We're going to experience some fog overnight tonight. However, take a look at the current live cam over the University of Florida campus. We tried to have lots of fog today, but there was only a little bit, and that was due to some cloud cover in our atmosphere. But if you take a look right here, there's not a lot of cloud cover, so that will lead way to have lots of fog tonight. By midnight tonight, we're going to see lots of fog near the Nature Coast, Cross City, Chiefland, and Williston. And as we continue to move throughout the evening, it's going to be locally dense in some areas in High Springs, Lake City, and north of Gainesville. And if you take a look at the 6 a.m., it's definitely going to continue to be locally dense in north central Florida. Your lows tonight, 56 degrees in Gainesville, 55 in High Springs, and 54 in Ocala. Coming up in my full weather forecast, I'll let you know if it's cooler temperatures will affect your weekend. Back to you.
Thank you, Brittany. A judge is allowing the limited release of some grand jury information in the Eric Garner case. He's the New York man who died after police subdued him with a chokehold in an arrest which was caught on tape. NBC's Sarah Dolph has more.
Wednesday night, an outpouring of emotion in New York. Protesters shutting down major highways and bridges. More demonstrations are expected here
no justice, no peace.
And across the country. In Pittsburgh, a die-in on Thursday. And in Denver, students walked out of Abraham Lincoln High School.
I can't breathe.
Many chanted, "I can't breathe." Eric Garner's last words as he was forced onto the ground by police for allegedly selling loose, untaxed cigarettes. All caught on camera. It's that video showing Officer Daniel Pantaleo's arm around Garner's neck that's especially upsetting in the wake of the grand jury's decision not to indict.
I don't know what video they were looking at. Evidently, it wasn't the same one that the rest of the world was looking at.
The problem here that causes so much distrust of the system and so much suspicion is these secret grand jury proceedings in a case that otherwise is very, very public.
Officer Pantaleo remains on desk duty while the NYPD continues an internal probe.
He's the model of what we want a police officer to be.
Police union officials are defending him and the grand jury's decision.
And it was a just decision, a difficult decision, we understand. But it was a just decision. Why? Because it was based on the facts that were on the table.
Meanwhile, the Department of Justice's own investigation is underway. In Staten Island, Sarah Dolph, NBC News.
Tonight there will be a protest at the Civic Media Center in Gainesville at 6:30, and UF's Institute of Black Culture will be painting a memorial on the 34th Street wall on Sunday afternoon.
The Pentagon today released reports increasing sexual assaults in the military to nearly 6,000 this year. Military officials say more victims are reporting attacks, but many still remain silent. If surveys are right, only 1 in 4 victims will report an assault, but that's improved from 1 in 10 just 2 years ago. Critics are pushing to allow victims to report attacks outside of the chain of command.
We need them to be able to prosecute these cases based on the evidence, and we need to be able to remove that decision-making from the chain of command.
Outgoing Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel created 28 programs to deter assaults and to encourage victims to report attacks. But many victims still have to go to their commanders, who often know the accused.
And still to come on WUFT News First at 5. Winds and faulty equipment kept a spacecraft in Central Florida on the ground today. More on that coming up.
And if you haven't gotten a flu shot yet, doctors say, what are you waiting for? That story after the break.